Hello guys, good morning. It's another exciting episode on Pious Football where I bring you the latest in transfer news. We discuss tactical analysis of games going into the new season. And also we do a deep analysis of pertinent issues surrounding football that you don't hear on mainstream European media. Now let us go right in and discuss the good news coming from the Netherlands that Edwin van der Sar has actually been transported to a Dutch hospital. He's out of intensive care, although he's still at the hospital. He came out yesterday afternoon with his wife to thank his well wishers and to provide updates on his health. Now, the good news is that he will be out of hospital very soon, but the most important thing is that he's out of intensive care and his brain hemorrhage has ceased and he is actually under observation. Also, I would like to talk about the issue of Mason Greenwood. Yesterday, Rooney was doing a press conference, DC United in the US, and he was asked about the career of Mason Greenwood, and he said that he wishes that Mason Greenwood would leave Manchester United. Now, the United legend was advising Mason Greenwood to take a step forward in his career and ditch Manchester United because, according to him, the boy just wants to play football, and he understands that the situation of Mason Greenwood and Manchester United is that United are also handicapped by their sponsors. They are trying to make sure that they walk on a tight leash to try and please their sponsors who are against reinstating Mason Greenwood. Remember, I said earlier when I made this story in one of my episodes that Greenwood is also being prevented from coming back by the female Manchester United team, who say that they are uncomfortable and they don't feel safe having Mason Greenwood around at Carrington. So Rooney has advised Mason Greenwood to leave Manchester United to save his playing career, and I sort of support him because it's kind of outrageous that at this time still United are still not sure what to do with Mason Greenwood, and hopefully he will be able to make a move and revive his career because he's a very promising lad. So fingers crossed to see if Mason Greenwood will take Rooney's advice and leave Manchester United for the sake of his own career. Also, I would like to go to the camp of PSG and say that PSG actually were ready to bid for Harry Kane and match Daniel Levy's estimation of Harry Kane. Remember, I said in the previous episode that Harry Kane has been estimated to be around 150 million pounds. Daniel Levy would not accept any bid below 150 million pounds. Now, PSG are believed to have been ready to match that offer. Unfortunately for them, Harry Kane has communicated to the camp of PSG that he doesn't want to play for PSG. So at the moment, PSG are currently not exploring Harry Kane move anymore. Now it leaves just Bayern to try and negotiate a deal for Harry Kane. As to how that will go, I'm not really sure if Bayern are ready to pay 150 million pounds for Harry Kane. Now, if that is to happen. Now, another news that just got in yesterday afternoon. That was trying to ascertain the the authenticity of that rumor, but it looks like it might be true since they are trying to get Bayern Munich are trying to raise funds to try and bid for Harry Kane. Remember, they bid for him around 70 million euros and he was immediately turned down. So they need more cash. And the rumors coming in since late afternoon of yesterday is that Bayern Munich are trying to they're trying to sell Joshua Kimmich. Remember, Thomas Tuchel, who is the manager of Bayern Munich, has told the Bayern Munich board that he wants a new number 6. He wants a new holding midfielder. Now, he doesn't feel or believe that Joshua Kimmich can do the job for him the way he wants. So he wants a top-class central midfielder, holding midfielder who can beat the press and is good with passing. I don't know why Joshua Kimmich can't do the job. I mean, he did it perfectly well for Pep Guardiola. Remember, Joshua Kimmich used to be a right back. He was transformed to a central midfielder and a holding midfielder by Pep Guardiola. So Thomas Tuchel saying that he doesn't want Joshua Kimmich is kind of a surprise. And even more of a surprise is the fact that Bayern Munich are willing to put him on the transfer market to try and fund a bid for Harry Kane. So that shows how serious that Bayern Munich of interest in Harry Kane is. So fingers crossed on that deal. Also, Juventus are exploring the market for Frank Kessie. You remember I told you earlier before that they see Thomas Partey as a very expensive target. 30 million euros for Thomas Partey is a bit too much for Juventus at this point, and they also feel that his wages might be a problem. But they see that Frank Kessie is actually a move that they can make. He is younger, he might cost less, and his wages might also cost Juventus less. You remember, in general, Italian clubs are struggling financially, so they feel that Frank Kessie is a better move for them than Thomas Partey. So at the moment, Juventus are still in negotiations with FC Barcelona to try and trash out a deal for Frank Kessie. Now remember, Kessie already has offers from Saudi Arabia that he has turned down. So let's see how that move will materialize. Also, I spoke earlier on that Xavi Simons has, been very good this season. He had a very fantastic season at PSV Eindhoven. Remember, he was bought from PSG. PSG put in a buyback clause of £5 million. Now, they have activated that clause because of the fantastic season he had. Remember, he's also a subject of interest from other clubs in Europe. Xavi Simons, has now been transferred back to PSG. He was brought in to try and kind of be a stopgap for the case that Neymar leaves. Now remember, PSG are willing to listen to offers for Neymar. It is also likely that Mbappe will also leave. They want to sell him because they don't want to lose him for free next season. So at the moment, PSG are willing to keep Xavi Simons in there, assuming that Neymar will leave. If Neymar doesn't leave and Mbappe stays, then it means that Xavi Simons, according to the sources that I have from Paris, is that they will loan him to a club for just a year. Hopefully next year he will be back to start for the PSG, the Paris club. So they believe in Xavi Simons, they believe in his talent, they want him, but they are for now they want to use him as a stopgap for Neymar in case Mbappe leaves. Remember, he's an attacking midfielder, so he can play in a number 10 role. So hopefully, if that doesn't happen, he will stay. If Neymar moves, then hopefully he will stay in the club. Otherwise, he will be loaned out again to another club for a year, and then the following year he will be back into the team. Also, Giovanni Lo Celso, remember the Argentine who missed the World Cup because of injury. He was on loan at Villarreal from Tottenham. He had a very good season with Villarreal, and he's now been a subject of interest from Napoli. Napoli currently are trying to get a loan offer plus buyback option for him. So they are currently negotiating with Tottenham. So hopefully, if that move materializes, we will see Giovanni Lo Celso going to Napoli. Also, in the market, we have good news from Manchester United is that they made their first, sizable sale, if I can say it's sizable enough. Alex Telles has moved to Al Nassr. You remember Cristiano Ronaldo's team, Al Nassr. They have bought the left back Alex Telles. You remember we bought him from Porto for around £15 million. Now he's been sold to Al Nassr for £4 million plus add-on. So it's good for United. Hopefully we can get out some of the players that we don't need to try and recoup some funds to reinvest in the market for the search for a defender, a striker, and a midfielder. Also in the camp of West Ham, remember West Ham are in the market searching for a holding midfielder. They've sold Declan Rice to Arsenal. They've sold Declan Rice to Arsenal for a world record fee, and so they have money to spend. They are trying to replace him. They are looking at several targets to replace Declan Rice. Scott McTominay is one of those targets, but at the moment they are also exploring the chances of signing Conor Gallagher from Chelsea. I have been told that Chelsea are looking to take somewhere around £30 million for Conor Gallagher. I don't know if West Ham will pay £30 million for Conor Gallagher. So fingers crossed on Conor Gallagher to West Ham. Let's see how that move will happen. Also, in the camp of Manchester United, United. There were rumors, a lot of rumors yesterday morning that Bruno has rejected a lot of offers from Saudi Arabia. Now, this was kind of surprising for me that the Saudi clubs actually are now very confident that they can sign one of the best players in the Premier League. You remember, I said that if they can sign Jordan Henderson from Liverpool, then it means that they are very confident and they are very sure, they are very self-assured of their league now. You remember Cristiano Ronaldo's interview 2 days ago. He said that the Saudi league is improving and is better than the MLS, and very soon it will be better than the Turkish league and the Dutch league. It was kind of it caused a bit of shockwaves in the punditry world, but he said, Ronaldo is always in the news, and that's what he said. And let's see how that goes now. The Saudi league is improving, obviously, and the clubs are gaining a lot of confidence, to approach Bruno Fernandes, a player at the top of his game, probably going to be the captain of Manchester United, to try and sign him. It shows the confidence that the Saudi football administrators are now having in their ability to prize players from Europe. So it's interesting one there. I just wanted to put out that it's interesting that the Pro League in Saudi Arabia is actually bidding for Bruno Fernandes. It's interesting. Also, I'd like to talk about Bayern Munich. Also in the market, they are trying to sell Benjamin Pavard, the right back. Remember, I don't know why they want to sell him, because it looks like Manchester City are interested. Remember, they are selling Pavard and they are going for the English right back from Manchester City, Kyle Walker. Now, it's interesting, the kind of transfers that we are hearing, the rumors we are hearing now, that Bayern Munich are willing to let go of Benjamin Pavard, who I think is a very good right back, and then they are willing to kind of get Kyle Walker. Now, Kyle Walker has already agreed personal terms with Bayern Munich, and Bayern Munich are currently negotiating with Manchester City for a sizable fee. Kyle Walker has communicated to Pep Guardiola that he wants to join Bayern Munich. Now, remember, Guardiola is a kind of coach who will not keep a player that doesn't want to stay. Remember, Cancelo had issues with him. He was immediately loaned to Bayern Munich. Unfortunately, Bayern Munich have not activated the buy option on the loan. So Cancelo is currently looking for a club. And at the moment, it looks like Barcelona might be his option. But I'm hearing the rumors coming out from Barcelona is that his personal terms is becoming a problem. Barca don't have a lot of money, and the player is demanding a lot of cash to play for Barca. So Barca are trying to beat down the price. If it doesn't happen, they will look at other right back options. So Benjamin Pavard is also an option for Barcelona, and also now an option for Manchester City in case Kyle Walker goes to Bayern Munich. So it will be an interesting circle of transfers around that right back position. Let's see how that happens. Also, I would like to talk about Kimmich. Remember Kimmich, the Korean defender, the South Korean defender, was an option for Manchester United. Ten Hag wanted him. He spoke to him. Unfortunately, Harry Maguire had to leave before that move materializes. Harry Maguire is still at the club. It came out a few days ago that Ten Hag had a meeting with him. The captaincy has been taken away from him. The news coming in is that he's very angry about the move, although he came out with a very passionate Instagram post to try and convey his ideas or his feelings to the United fans and thank them. Inwardly, behind behind closed doors, the information from Carrington is that Maguire is actually very livid about the situation, and he doesn't want to leave Manchester United at all. He has told the club that he wants to, be paid out, to be paid off. He has, I think, 2 years remaining on his contract, plus an option for a third that United can activate if they want. He's being paid somewhere around £190,000 a week. So if we are supposed to, according to Maguire, if you are supposed to buy him, release him and pay him off for the rest of the contract that he has, 2 years plus one, somewhere we are looking at somewhere beyond £20 million. Now United are not going to hand Maguire £20 million to go for free. Remember, he's still on record as the most expensive defender. So we are not going to do that. So obviously we are waiting for a club, to come. West Ham made a bid but it was a loan move. It was turned down. So we are waiting for more bids for Harry Maguire right there. So Kimmich, is now gone to Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich were very fast on the market, and they outweighted Manchester United, who were dilly-dallying, and then now he's been confirmed as a player for Bayern Munich. Now, at the camp of Manchester United, and talking about the most expensive defender in the world, very soon he will be dethroned. Maguire's expensive price tag of £85 million will soon be dethroned by the Croatian Guardiola. Guardiola is an interest for Manchester City. Pep Guardiola has told Tigray Bergestan that he wants he wants Guardiola in his defense. Remember, this player will cost somewhere around £100 million. That is what RB Leipzig have said, that they want to sell him for a world record fee for a defender. So very soon that price will beat that of Harry Maguire, and Guardiola will be in the Premier League and a City player. It's just a matter of time. Personal terms have been agreed between the defender and Manchester City. So they are currently trying to trash out a deal to see if they can lower the price for Guardiola. But at the moment, Leipzig are standing their ground and demanding £100 million from Manchester City. So let's see how that deal will also materialize. Also, at the camp of Manchester United, I want to talk about Højlund. This striker, 20-year-old Danish striker, is in the market for some time now. A lot of clubs are monitoring the situation, but they feel that the player is very passionate about Manchester United. As he has said, he's a boyhood Manchester United fan. So he's going to move to Manchester United. Now, personal terms have been agreed. It came in yesterday afternoon. Personal terms reached between Højlund and Manchester United. Now, the deal now has to do with United agreeing a deal with Atlanta. Now, remember, Atlanta are demanding somewhere around €80 million for him. Manchester United will try to bid down the price to somewhere around €60 million. So let's see how that move will materialize. You remember, personal terms, as I always say on this program, personal terms between a player and a club doesn't really mean the transfer will happen. Now, the most important thing is that the club will agree between the two clubs, they will agree on the transfer. So that is where we are now, and United are ready to make a bid. Hopefully today or tomorrow we will see an official bid going to Atlanta from Manchester United for Højlund. So let's see how that move will materialize. Also, we want to talk about Chelsea's unfortunate situation of trying to find a replacement for Wesley Fofana, who got an ACL, anterior cruciate ligament damage in training. Unfortunately for Chelsea, the kid was brought in for around £80 million from Leicester City, and the kid has had an unfortunate career so far. He had injury concerns coming into Chelsea. Remember, he was just recovering from an ankle injury that took him out of the game for 7 months. He recovered, had a very fantastic run of games, and Chelsea were impressed and bid for him. Now he's come to Chelsea, and now unfortunately for him, another long-term injury that will keep him out for the majority of next season. So Chelsea at the moment are kind of short in their centre back department, so they are trying to find a replacement, and the option that they are looking at now is Axel Disasi from Monaco. Remember, Axel Disasi is already an interest to Manchester United. Ten Hag has already spoken to him. Remember, I said that Kimmich was an option for Manchester United, but when Kimmich went to Bayern, United turned their attention to Disasi. So they, the manager Eric Ten Hag spoke to Disasi and told him to wait. Maguire will leave, and then we will come for him. Unfortunately, it looks like Chelsea are also now sniffing around to try and see if they can get Axel Disasi from Monaco. Now, mind you, Newcastle are also there trying to convince the kid to play for Newcastle, and they are using the fact that they are going to play in the Champions League as a bait. So let's see how that move will materialize. Disasi has 3 options: Manchester United, Newcastle, and Manchester, and now Chelsea. So let's see how that move will materialize for Axel Disasi. Also, I would like to talk about Brighton rejecting a second bid for Caicedo from Chelsea. Remember, I said that Brighton have always said that they want £100 million or Levy Cowell plus cash. Now, Chelsea are not ready to give Levy Cowell to any club. Even Liverpool are also in the market for Levy Cowell. Jurgen Klopp has spoken to the player. He has assured the player of playing time. But, the player now is interested in a move to Liverpool, but Chelsea are not willing to negotiate for Levy Cowell. And now the news is that Brighton are demanding Levy Cowell plus cash for Moises Caicedo. Chelsea are not willing to listen to that option. So now their only option now is to pay up the £100 million, which Chelsea are not ready to do. So it's kind of a stalemate. I told you earlier on that the 80 million euros bid that Chelsea made is going to be turned down, and indeed it has been turned down. Brighton are tough with their players, leaving the club. They will take every money that they can get. So Moises Caicedo to Chelsea is currently at a stalemate. Let's see if Chelsea are willing to bend their back and pay £100 million for Moises Caicedo. It's going to be interesting summer coming. Let's see what happens to Caicedo to Chelsea. Also, at the moment, I would like to talk about Yunus Musa. Remember, Yunus Musa is an interesting midfielder for Valencia. He had a fantastic season. When Gennaro Gattuso began his coaching with Valencia earlier in the season. He was fantastic. Yunus Musa, he was so fantastic in the beginning of the season. I watched a couple of their highlights, and he was really good, providing some assist in there, and then showing up, the defense by being a protector in front of the defense line. So Yunus Musa, a central midfielder, now has been a subject of interest from AC Milan. Remember, AC Milan are in the market to try and replace the Italian midfielder who has just left to Newcastle United. I've forgotten his name. I think what's his name? This midfielder. I can't get his name. But I'm sure that a replacement is being lined up, and the option is Yunus Musa. Yunus Musa is a very good player, like I said. So AC Milan are trying to negotiate a deal. A personal terms between Yunus Musa and AC Milan has been agreed. So now AC Milan are negotiating with Valencia to try and see if they can get the player to replace the midfielder that has just left. I can't remember this guy's name. Sorry for that. Also at the camp of AC Milan, they are trying to negotiate for Chukwuemeka. Chukwuemeka I think is that the name? Chikwueze, Chikwueze is, remember, is a Nigerian left-footed right winger at Villarreal. They are trying to see if Chikwueze can make that move. So they are negotiating with Villarreal as we speak. Also, remember, Danjuma is also a winger at Villarreal. They are also trying to negotiate a deal for Danjuma, the Dutch winger. Is a right-footed left winger. So they are trying to get in some wingers and a midfielder. AC Milan trying to beef up their squad for the coming season. So it will be interesting to observe AC Milan's moves for these players. Let's see, fingers crossed, how these moves will materialize. Also, I like to talk about Andre Onana. Remember, Andre Onana is currently at United. Medical, as I'm speaking now, a medical is happening at Carrington training grounds. Remember also that Manchester United have a friendly with Lyon, so they are currently at Edinburgh, I think, trying to the friendly game will be around 1 p.m. Today. But as I speak now, Onana is at Carrington trying to do his medical. Now, I want to do an in-depth analysis to end this episode by sort of trying to tell you guys how, the rumors, that we've been hearing, or the news that we've been hearing, is that Ten Hag wants to play from the back. And that is why he got Onana. But that is just one bit of it. That is just the surface. Deeper revelations that I have done is that Ten Hag's playing style, aside playing from the back, involves trying to play a high press. Now, the high press means that you are going to push your midfielders into the 18-yard box. Okay, so they have to occupy the 18-yard box of the opposition. Now, that means that your central defenders must come a little bit closer to the center line. So your center defenders will come a little bit closer to the center line, and then your goalkeeper will move out of the 18-yard box and occupy the space between the center line and the 18-yard box of Manchester United. So Onana will be playing very high on the pitch. And if you've watched highlights of Inter Milan, especially in the game against City in the Champions League final, you can see evidence of that. Now, what that means is that Ten Hag intends to flood the opposition area with a lot of players. Now, we have a striker. Assuming that we are playing a 4-2-3-1 formation, we have the striker in the 18-yard box. We have the two wingers, maybe Rashford and Anthony, also in the 18-yard box. We have Mason Mount, all right, the number 8, also at the front of the 18-yard box, including Bruno Fernandes, who is the number 10 in the 4-2-3-1 formation. So we have, as we are pressing the team, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players. So we have 5 players in the opposition 18-yard box, which is a lot of pressure to try and do counter pressing. If we don't have the ball, if we lose possession in the opposition area, counter pressing must happen for us to get the ball back. So as this is happening, what Ten Hag intends to do is to use what we call the inverted left back. Now, inverted left back means that one of our left backs is going to join the midfield. Okay, one of our left back, maybe Wan-Bissaka or Luke Shaw, is going to join the midfield. Preferably, I think it might be Wan-Bissaka will join the midfield. Now, when that happens, Casemiro and Wan-Bissaka will be the ones who are going to sit back in front of the center line or a little bit further on the center line to try and do the counter pressing. If the counter pressing of Bruno Fernandes, maybe the striker Højlund counter presses and he fails, Bruno Fernandes counter presses and he fails. On the wings, Rashford and Anthony counter press and they fail. Now it will be beholden on the inverted left back, probably Wan-Bissaka, and the defensive midfielder or the holding midfielder Casemiro to try and do a proper counter press and stop the opponent from attacking. Now, mind you, that means that the other left back, probably Luke Shaw, will join the two center backs, and so we'll have a back three. Rather than a back 4, we are going to have a back 3 when we are doing pressing, high pressing. So we have a back 3 of Luke Shaw, Lisandro Martinez, and Varane. And then we have Onana pressing high on the pitch. So every time the ball is being played, United are pressing high on the pitch. They are holding their ground and putting pressure on the opposition. That is how Ten Hag wants to play. And for that to happen, the goalkeeper must be someone who is very confident on the ball, someone who is willing to take risk. And that was not David De Gea. De Gea wasn't going to be that kind of player. So, I mean, Onana coming in is more than just playing from the back. It is the kind of formation and the kind of setup that Erik Ten Hag wants to have. And if you picture the scenario I have just described, then you can understand why Onana is being, touted as a replacement for De Gea, and why Ten Hag was obsessed with having Onana in the team. Now, hopefully he will have his first preseason game in the tour of the United States. He will not be at Edinburgh today to play Lyon. So fingers crossed on Onana's first game. We will see how that goes, and then we will reanalyze how that game goes as against what I have told you in this episode, and then we will see how Ten Hag's mind will be as the games progress in the Premier League. Also, I would like to end by saying that it is interesting that we are actually also looking for a replacement for Dean Henderson. Remember, Dean Henderson is already on the move. A £20 million offer will be made for him from Nottingham Forest, and he will be accepted. And he has already agreed personal terms with Nottingham Forest. So Dean Henderson is on the move. And then we are going to bring in Zion Suzuki. Remember, in one of my first ever episode on this program, on this channel, I spoke about Zion Suzuki. He will be coming in. He plays almost the same way. He can be used in this kind of setup that I have just described. So we are going to have Onana and Zion Suzuki as our goalkeepers in the new season. So fingers crossed on that. Now, Tom Heaton, our third choice goalkeeper, is going to be in action today. He is of interest to Luton Town. Luton Town are trying to get Tom Heaton. So that transfer will be done quickly after the game against Lyon this afternoon. Remember, the game is 1 p.m. So let's see what happens. Also, Arsenal and the US, they are playing today, I think. Arsenal are playing today. A couple of the teams, Chelsea are also, in the US. And mind you, they are without their injured players, and some of the players that they are trying to sell. Aubameyang has been left at Cobham. Lukaku has been left at Cobham, and one or other two players. So I think Aubameyang is of interest to Olympique Marseille. He's agreed personal terms with Marseille, so hopefully a deal can be reached between Chelsea and Olympique Marseille, and Aubameyang will be on the move. So let's see what will happen to Lukaku and also other players that I think, I think this Moroccan winger is also there. He's trying to look for a club. So let's see. Fingers crossed for all the other transfers that will be coming in. Thank you very much for listening and staying with me throughout this episode. If you like the video, please like the button, click on the like button, and subscribe to my channel Pious Football, where I bring you all the best and the latest analysis on football. Thank you very much. Bye.